Before we talk about this weekend, first of all, how's pre-season gone so far for you?
Been going great, yeah, loving it. A little bit of a short one this year, but yeah, the lads have been training really hard. The new blokes have fitted into the squad. We had a great pre-season camp in Tenerife last week, so yeah, I mean, everyone says the pre-season's going great, don't they? Everyone says the same things and same cliches, but yeah, genuinely, it's a good buzz. And it's been good because we've kept a lot of the lads from last year, like a Spine, place like that. They already had some good combinations from where we left off, so it felt like we was hitting the ground running a little bit more than last pre-season. And obviously being my second pre-season, you know, I was a lot more in tune with what we needed to do from last year, and building on that, we've been the second time round. So yeah, I think it's been going really well.
How are the new boys fitting in?
Really good blokes first and foremost. You know, I know a lot of people always talk about the kind of character of people. You want right people on board, and they are. The good blokes are bought straight in. They bring some energy and some fun. They've got some characters in there as well. You know, Tom Davies, Jared, the great blokes, and they work hard and they've been buying into what we're doing, and the other lads have been showing them the way, and these are the standards, these are what's acceptable here, and yeah, without complaints, they've fitted in, slotted in really well. So I'm excited to see them play now and grow them combinations that we've got. You know, it's the exciting players what we've brought in him. Some, you know, the young up and coming ones. Everyone's fighting for positions and looking forward to them.
One of those young lads that's come in is Bill Leyland, who I spoke to last year when he joined, and I know he'll have joined London after you left the club, won't he? But how good is it to see a young lad from down south getting a chance in Super League like this?
Fantastic, yeah. I mean, Bill was in the academy when I was there, so, and obviously worked with his brother Ollie at first team. Could see Bill coming through, and you know, knew he was a special talent at a young age. So yeah, it's obviously a loss for London. I know how that feels when you lose good players. It's sad to see players leave London, but from a selfish point of view, it's great to have Bill here. You know, he's another one who's been exciting. He's working really hard, and the step up in levels and being surrounded by the players. You know, working with Jez Litten, Mickey Mack, having hookers like that to learn off every day. He's just hopefully, you know, thriving in that environment and working hard to get his chance. But it's great to see that for the game in London as well, that they're still developing fantastic players down there, and there is a pathway there that needs to be tapped into, and the strong London side's important. Well, that's another story.
Now, this trip of the weekend isn't your first trip aboard this season. You mentioned it. How was Tenerife for the squad?
Yeah, amazing, yeah. We did it same as last year. It's a great facility. You know, the weather was spot on as well, and it was hard. It was tough. The boys know when they go there. It's intense. The field sessions are intense. You know, there can be long days at times. Not every day. You know, they do get some downtime, and we don't absolutely beast them every day. But you know, there was some little 5 a.m. wake up calls for the lads and surprise attacks on the beach and all sorts thrown in there. And it's just great to be around each other, I think, and build connections and spend time with lads and new lads who we'd only been training, you know, 3 weeks prior to Christmas, just to learn a little bit more about each other, spend some time, live in the same room, sleep together. You know, it's fantastic for building them bonds while you're away. And it was, yeah, a successful trip. We didn't pick up any injuries, which again is an important one when the boys are working that hard. You're on 10 tokes sometimes, like you're wincing at some of the contact sessions. Hope that you don't want to pick up any niggles, but it was a fantastic trip, but a bit of a shock to the system coming back into Hull the next day. Yeah,
I know, speaking to Willie previously, that aspect of the trip, the team bonding aspect almost of it, the off the field side, is a big reason why he likes that training camp in Tenerife. As a coach, did you see the playing group change by the end of it compared to the group that went over in terms of that bond?
100%. You've seen them grow all the time, and it's just great to see, you know, old lads teaming up with young lads, and there's no cliques. You know, you don't want lads just all the old experienced lads go off together and young lads are surrounded. You know, we roomed them together, so it'll be a young bloke with an old experienced head, so we could get him to pick his brains and just learn from how they did things, and just to see how it was just all become one group, really. Lads walking together, eating together, different blokes every time, doing different things on the days off. You could see that just growing day by day, and that's what it does, because the bonds build when you're working hard together as well. It's not all just about the social side of things and going for coffee and going to the beaches. That you build them bonds from just being in the trenches with each other, going through the floggings, going through the tough conditioning sessions, the whack sessions, and coming out the other side, not letting the S&C staff break you, and it's great. That's how you get them bonds, and trusting each other. Then you get a lot of trust for each other, going through them hard times together, and I think that's what we saw.
Any cases of horrific sunburn?
No, mate, me and Odge were rooming together, so that's two gingers. We were only allowed out in the sun. We were only allowed out from like 7, 8 o'clock at night, and had to keep bucket hats on all the time. So we had some factor 50 just on tap in our room, me and Odgson.
I can spot a fellow factor 50 man when I see him, trust me. Right, let's look ahead to Amsterdam. And the reason why we're here, you're wearing the merch. You looking forward to the weekend?
Yeah, can't wait. Firstly, just to play. Want to sit within that part of pre-season now where we just want to see the boys play, and they're itching to play as well. But yeah, fantastic occasion, something new, going to Amsterdam and playing. I think the boys are excited by that. Going and playing a quality side in York in a fantastic European city. What's not to get excited about? But yeah, just as a hit out for the lads, there's been a good buzz in training. It's a different kind of feel when it's game week. But yeah, a fantastic opportunity for them boys who are taking the field this week.
What does the weekend look like for you in terms of travel and arrangements?
We're just going in and out on the day. So we're flying out early on Saturday morning from Leeds, and then coming back after the game. I think flying back after the game. So it's a shame really we don't get to spend any more time in the city, but probably a safe option for some of the lads. But just getting back.
I think a couple of them are booked in for the after party, aren't they?
I can't comment on that. I don't think so. No, we'll all be coming back same day. So we're kind of in and out, but hopefully we'll get a nice bus tour through the city on the way back to the airport.
Willie and Jack Broadbent went over last month to scope out the facilities. What were their reports? Yeah,
really good. They loved it. They had a real nice time. Obviously, everyone who goes over to Amsterdam speaks really highly of the place and what a beautiful city it is. And they said that obviously the pitch was really good and the facilities. And yeah, just couldn't wait to get out there. So I know that there's a few people going out early and a few players going out doing promo things, and obviously a lot going on over the weekend where different lads will be out there hopefully enjoying it, but nothing but good reports from Amsterdam.
As much as this is about the occasion and the spectacle of playing this exhibition match, basically, it's still an important part of your pre-season preparation. It's your only real pre-season match before you get to the Challenge Cup. How do you make sure that the occasion doesn't distract from this and you're still, getting everything you can out of this match?
We just treat it like a normal week. We have weeks where we'll travel and go to places like Catalan or when we go to Lancashire and stop over. We have stopovers. We get used to hotels and travel. We just got to treat this like a normal week with the intensity in training not dropped. The lads who are playing are getting everything like we would in a normal week. Game planning, video analysis, things like that. We're treating it like that. So when they come to game week, everything will be the same come game day. And the boys just want to play. They're just itching to play rugby against, not against each other. Who can rip into another team. And New York are a very good side. Be tough opposition for us as well, and a real challenge. So I think the boys just know that they've not got many cracks at it before we get into business in a couple of weeks as well. So yeah, I think they're fully focused. I don't think they'll enjoy the trip, but I don't think it won't matter to them whether they're playing Amsterdam or East Hull. They just want to be on a patch of grass playing rugby.
Why were York Knights the right opponents for this match?
I think it's they're a side that's building. They're doing a lot of good things on and off the field. York, well coached by Mash, and they've put a strong squad together, and they're wanting to push for. They'll be wanting to push to go to that next level in Super League as well. So I think expecting them to be a very good side and up at the top of the Championship this year, and it's good to play Championship sides. You get some familiarity with Super League sides at times, and we when you're planning, you don't want to plan a Super League side and end up getting them first round of the competition. So I think it's a perfect opportunity for a club like York, who are also keen on growing their brand and building as a club. It probably got similar ambitions in what they're doing, and it's a perfect fit, really.
That was something I wanted to ask you about, actually, because looking at York Knights from outside of the patch, they seem to have quite a similar ethos to OKR in terms of their community side and their off-the-field growth aspirations. Do you think that's a fair thing to say?
I think so, yeah. They're always thrown around as a team who you'd like to see in Super League eventually. Do you know, I think that it's a fantastic city. You know, they're doing so much good stuff off the field. You know, the women's team, how good they are over the past few years. They seem to be building in the right way. You know, the facilities are fantastic over in York as well, and I think they're all poised to push for that next level. Obviously, it's not just going to be handed to them. They're doing a lot of work on that, but I think it's an exciting club and something that's just a little bit different. You know, a city feel, and I wish them all the luck.
I quite enjoyed watching York towards the end of last year. Once Mark Applehart had come in and really put his fingerprints on that team. How do you think he transformed that side once he came in?
I think he's a very good coach. I think he's spent some time with him. He's come in here a couple of times and spoke to him at the back end of his time at Wakefield. You know, he was in a very tough job at the time there with Wakefield and where they was at, and the squad he had, I thought he did a very good job. And he's, people speak very highly of him, and you can see he's put that brand of rugby onto York and steadied him, because they was struggling for a little while there last season in the Championship, and see him just get a new lease of life and structured and knew what their identity was and played a good brand of football as well. And he really turned their season around. So massive credit to him. Hopefully, he can. I think a full year with Mark at the helm this year and a pre-season, they'll definitely be up there challenging, because they play some good rugby. They've got some good players.
Of course, you're in the slightly weird position that there's a genuine possibility you could face York again in the Challenge Cup in a fortnight's time. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, again, it is a bit of a weird one. It's hard to think too much about it when we don't know the outcome of the draw. But there's a challenge there to go away from home. We knew there was going to be some tough draws in that competition. We probably picked one of the best champ sides at the moment, so it's going to be a tough draw for us. Maybe we might have to think through things a little bit differently this week, and how we approach the game this week. You don't want to play all as hand this week. We're knowing that we might get him in a couple of weeks in the cup, but yeah, it makes for exciting press on when we're playing him again.
A lot of conversation around the Challenge Cup format this year. What were your feelings on it?
I like it. I love it. I think the Super League clubs should come in earlier. There should be them magical ties where you go into amateur clubs, or amateur clubs gets a Wigan or a Leeds. I think that's the way cup should be. I thought last year when the Super League clubs came in and they get drawn against each other, I just thought it wasn't the magic of the cup, wasn't the fun of the cup that I kind of remembered growing up. There was always an amateur side or two, or a couple of League One sides in, and they always got good ties, whether home or away against Super League clubs. So I think it's great. I think it's great for the game, great for coverage for these lower teams who can get some cash in on it and get some good fans and have a crack. Players, younger players or amateur players going to Super League grounds. It's fantastic. That's the magic of the cup, isn't it? That's why we fall in love with it.
Yeah, you just look at the effect that it's had on Westall. They're a game away from St Helens for their first round match against Edinburgh. They got a huge crowd for it. So, yeah, even though you might get some weird indiscrepancies in the third round, you can see it's having a benefit in the first round already. Yeah,
it's unbelievable, isn't it? Yeah, imagine that. Like Westall going to Saints. That's beautiful, isn't it? That's why we want to play the game. We want to watch these games and the magic of that, going to St Helens and challenging Super League sides on their own. That's why I think it's been a step in the right direction, is that in terms of changing the Challenge Cup format. I'm all for it.
When we spoke to Paul Aiken when the Amsterdam Challenge was launched last summer down Humber Street, he was giving this message of creating Hull Cow as a global brand. This Amsterdam Challenge 5-year deal links to the Papua New Guinea deal as well, creating this global image for Hull Cow. How much of that is passed down to
the playing group and the staff?
Yeah, everyone's well aware of it. Everyone's well aware of the direction the club wants to go and the vision that, you know, from Paul and the owners that they have. You know, that was one of the selling points when I came to OKR, is that matched from coaches up to the owners, up to the board. Everyone's on the same page and pointing in the right direction. That's communicated regularly. Everyone's got to know that. You know, I know it's a fantastic opportunity this week to grow the brand and take the game to a new market in Amsterdam. But ever since it got organised, you know, we were all made well aware. You know, Paul spoke to us as a staff and as a squad and told us the importance of it and what it mean for the club and the game over in Amsterdam as well and growing that. So the communication's been fantastic from start to finish, and I think that's why everyone's so excited about going there. It's not just we're playing in this random place. It's they're given the actual why we're doing it, and the players, you know, buy into that even more.
How far do you think the whole KR brand can go globally?
It can be as big as it wants to be. You know, it can be one of the biggest in the world because we've got the right people who are pushing towards that. You know, from every department in the club, you know, work fantastically hard to build that brand, and you see the progress that the club's made in the last few years. Speaks for itself, and they're just, as long as, you know, no one gets comfortable here, and everyone's always striving to hit that next goal. You know, look at the amount of memberships we've sold this year, and the work that's doing in the community. Again, everything's just wanting to grow and be better every year. And again, you get good people on board who are all striving towards the same goal, which is one of the reasons, you know, why I wanted to come to OKR.
The club's foundation are already out there this week doing work with schools and community groups, and they've been doing work in the country for a while. How much rugby potential is there in the Netherlands?
I think, again, they're a sporting country out there. Everyone talks about how well they do at, you know, football and things. They've got athletes there who are open to playing lots of different games, and it's just taking that time. And it does take a lot of time to go grow a new game somewhere like the Netherlands, I think. It's definitely potential is there, and I think that massive on expanding the game and the potential is branching off into Europe, you know, showing the joy that, you know, Catalan Dragons have had. And I think, you know, we've just got to keep pushing that. And at times we don't always do it well, and we've not done, but that's the past. We've got to keep striving forward, because as many people can get playing the game and showcasing the game and taking these games on the road and having, you know, new supporters. We say it's the best game in the world, then let's go show people. As many people we can get watching these games, and they'll soon fall in love with it, I'm sure, and want to play. And they've got them opportunities with local junior clubs and schools playing it in Amsterdam. Who knows where it could go?
I think about half the tickets that have been sold for the Amsterdam Challenge have been sold to Dutch residents as well. So that's a sign you're going in the right direction, isn't it?
Yeah, it's fantastic. Again, the hard work that's been done to market the game and get out and reach people. It just shows you what can be done with some hard work and some positive thinking and people working together.
Just a couple of questions before I leave you. When Brett left last year, his coaching responsibilities were split amongst the staff. How did that change your role on the coaching team?
It picked up a little bit more with the forwards, really. Like Frogger was good around the forwards and in that tackle area around the ruck, which we worked together on as well. So I'm just kind of picked up more work. Skids has stepped up, and he's Sean Kennedy-Dowell's doing a lot more this year in that role, like certainly like with the edges and things like that. So we've just kind of shared. We've got a very good staff still, you know. We've still got, obviously, Dave Hodgson, Sean Kennedy-Dowell, myself as assistant coaches with Willie. So between the four of us, we just kind of shared Frog's workout, and I found it kind of, because probably less of us, sometimes it's easier to communicate things as well, with there being a few less people or to go through. So it's made things clear. We know his roles. We communicate well. So we just know his roles, know what messages we want to get across, and, you know, help each other deliver them consistently with the players. So there's been a little bit more in terms of clipping and working with the forwards, but they've been a great group to work with as well. And like I said, the staff here all work together and make sure everything's covered.
And of course, we were speaking to Sean the other week after he extended his contract with the coaching staff for another year. How good is that to see him
him sign down for another year?
Oh, it's amazing, yeah. What a bloke he is, yeah. And again, just great signing for the club. It was when he was a player, and what he brought as a player, he's doing that in a coaching role as well. And he's wanting to learn all the time and wanting to get better and again communicates everything really well. And his delivery on the field is good. And the boys love him as well. So yeah, he's definitely got a lot ahead of him in his coaching role, a lot of potential in what he does, and it's great. He's great to work with.
Top stuff. Cheers, mate. I'll pass you over to Phil if he's got any questions for you. But good luck this weekend.
Thank you.
Lovely.
Happy New Year to you and yours.
Happy New Year, Phil. You're still sitting in the middle. We're all right. How are you? All right?
Good, thank you. I've only got a couple of questions because most of them have been asked, to be honest. Do you think we should do more to mandate Super League clubs to link with development areas? Because we've seen Cas go to Spain and play Valencia. You're going to Amsterdam. Should that be part of being a Super League club, that you do have a responsibility?
I think there's definitely some scope in there, yeah, whether you can force teams to do it. I think it should be we should want to do that. We should want to grow your own brand and delve into different areas and grow the game, because I think, sometimes we can be too focused on our little area and we've got to work out. The bigger the game gets and the more we expand, then it's better for everyone. So I think there is some responsibility for us to continue to work with clubs. Obviously, there's some financial restraints in that, and I get that that can be a problem sometimes because things cost and you've got to put the work in and get people to do it. But I think we've all got a responsibility to grow the game however possibly we can, especially in new areas.
And the Netherlands are having a state of origin before you play as the curtain raiser. Will you be running an eye over some of the talent that's out there, and that could be another reason for doing it?
Definitely. Like, why not? It's there. I'll be watching that. We'll be watching that on the sidelines. That said, it's a country with a lot of sporting history and plenty of talent out there, and it's exciting to see. We do only seem to. I say it a lot that we kind of looking at lads over here from a small pool in north of England. The amount of times we got and then you're competing with Australians and New Zealands, and we're just picking lads up from a small pool to grow our Super League, whether it's a European Super League, to have players from all over Europe. It's a massive pool to get into.
And just one on the talent pool that isn't necessarily Hull KR related, but I presume you'd be extremely pleased that looks like new investments coming into London, and that's going to keep the supply chain running. And obviously, Bill Leyland's come through it. There'll be others like him if we get it right.
Definitely, yeah. But you want that supply chain to go into a London team. Like I said, it's great Bill's here, but you want a strong London club who have got them young juniors striving to get into a London Super League club, and it's great to see that. I think that they're on the verge of getting taken over, which is fantastic for the game, because it needs a strong London and a good London. So hopefully they get some people on board who want to grow that as a game, not just as a team, but a club and the whole game down in the south. But yeah, it's fantastic.
And the only final question I had was, has the last game of last year been mentioned at all in your pre-season?
Now and again, little snippets. Obviously, we didn't review it too much at the time because we just got away from it. So it has been mentioned because I think you can't just brush over it. We've got to learn from how close we come. Yeah, there was a lot of good things happened last year and pats on the back, but at the end of the day we came up short. So we have to address why that happened, why we didn't get over the line, or where we came up short, and try and fix them. So you've got to kind of review a little bit of them, the games at the back end or the final itself. I think it has been mentioned, but only kind of in a fix-up way, in a positive way.
Motivation for this year, because that's 2 finals now. The next step is to win one of them.
Yeah, it's people playing in big games. It's what you want, but you don't want to be losing big games. We know we're here to win things, and that was his challenge last year, and we came up short. So if it gives the lads a little bit of extra motivation this year, I don't think they'll need it, because they seemed pretty motivated at the time. But they're all here for the same thing.
Brilliant. Thank you for that. I shall give your regards to Mr. McCarthy Scarsbrook when I next speak to him.
No, please do.